Hey guys, welcome back. So today we'll be multiplying fractions with mixed numbers and whole numbers. Our first example is 2 1/3 times 1 1/4. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to turn this into an improper fraction and then we're going to multiply. Let's come on this side here. So we have 2 1/3. First, I'm going to multiply 2 times 3. This is going to equal 6 plus 1. This is going to equal 7. So this is going to turn into 7/3 as my improper fraction. Times, now we're going over here, 1 1/4. We're going to do 1 1/4. I'm going to multiply 1 times 4. This is going to equal 4 plus 1 is going to equal 5. So your improper fraction is going to turn to 5/4. Now I'm going to go ahead and multiply across. So 7 times 5 in my numerator, this is going to give us 35 over 3 times 4 in my denominator, this is going to equal 12. Since 35 over 12 is an example of an improper fraction, we're going to turn this back into a mixed number. So we have 35 over 12. I'm going to put my 12 on the outside, 35 on the inside. 12 goes into 35 2 times. 12 times 2 is 24. 35 minus 24 is going to equal 11. You have 3 minus 2 is 1, and then 5 minus 4, that's also 1. So to turn this back into a mixed number, we have my 2, which is my quotient. This is my whole number, and 11, which is my remainder, which is my numerator, and then your divisor is going to be your denominator. And this is your final answer. Let's try 4 4/5 times 1 4/6. First thing we're going to do, we're going to turn our mixed numbers into improper fractions. So we have 4 4/5 here. So I'm going to multiply 4 times 5. This is going to give us 20 plus 4 is going to be 24. So your answer is going to be 24/5. Now let's look here, 1 4/6. So I'm going to write 1 4/6 here. We have 1 times 6. This is going to give us 6 plus 4 is going to give us 10. So your improper fraction is going to be 10/6. Now I'm going to go ahead and multiply across. We have 24 times 10. 24 times 10. This is going to equal 240. And then you have 5 times 6. This is going to equal 30. If you have 240 divided by 30, this is going to equal 8. So your final answer for this example is 8. Remember, when you are multiplying, you can cross-reduce if you want to, or cross-cancel. So let's come here in the corner. Let's say we had 24 divided by 5 times 10 divided by 6. Here at this step, instead of dealing with larger numbers, you can cross-reduce right here at this step. So 5 and 10 share common factors, which is number 5. 5 goes into 5 one time. 5 goes into 10 two times. And 24 and 6 also share common factors, which is the number 6. 6 goes into 6 one time. 6 goes into 24 four times. So if I had to multiply across, you have 4 times 2 over 1 times 1. 4 times 2 is 8 over 1 times 1, which is 1. So 8/1 simplifies to just 8. Okay, so remember, you do get the same answer. 2 1/7 times 1 3/4. First thing first, we're going to turn these mixed numbers into improper fractions. So let's start here, 2 1/7. So we have 2 1/7. 2 times 7 is going to equal 14. Plus 1 is going to equal 15. So this is going to turn into 15/7. Now let's look here. We have 1 3/4. 1 times 4 is 4. Plus 3 is going to equal 7. So your improper fraction here is going to be 7/4. Now I'm going to go ahead and multiply across. So we have 15 times 7 in my numerator, and then 7 times 4 in my denominator. 15 times 7 is going to equal 105. And then 7 times 4 is going to equal 28. I can simplify my 105 over 28 because the number 7 goes into both 105 and 28. So 105 divided by 7 is going to equal 15, and 28 divided by 7 is going to equal 4. Remember, this is an example of an improper fraction. So let's go ahead and turn this back into a mixed number. So we have 15 over 4. 4 goes into 15 3 times. 4 times 3 is 12. 15 minus 12 is 3. So your mixed number is going to be 3. This is coming from your quotient. 3 from your remainder is going to be your numerator, and that's going to be over 4, which is your divisor. So let's try this example here. We have 1 over 2 times 8. I have a proper fraction and a whole number. First thing we're going to do is we're going to turn this whole number into a fraction. If I turn this into a fraction, this is going to turn into 8 over 1. Remember, you have your imaginary 1 right here under this 8. So now I have 1 over 2 times 8 over 1, and I can go ahead and multiply across now. So my numerator, we have 1 times 8. This is going to give us 8. And then my denominator, we have 2 times 1. This is going to give us 2. 8 over 2 equals 4. So your final answer is 4. Let's try 3 over 5 times 5. We have a proper fraction and a whole number. So we need to turn this whole number into a fraction. If I had turned my 5 into a fraction, this is going to turn into 5 over 1. Remember, you have your imaginary 1 right here under this 5. Now I can go ahead and multiply across. So we have 3 over 5 times 5 over 1. My numerator, we have 3 times 5. This is going to be 15, and that's going to be over 5 times 1. This is going to equal 5. 15 divided by 5 is going to equal 3, and your final answer is 3. So let's look at this example here. We have a proper fraction and a mixed number. So in this example, we need to turn the mixed number into an improper fraction. 1 times 3 is going to equal 3, plus 1 is going to equal 4. So we have 7 over 10 times 4 over 3. We turn this mixed number into an improper fraction. Now I'm going to go ahead and multiply across. So we have 7 times 4. This is going to equal 28 over 10 times 3. This is going to equal 30. And I can simplify my 28 over 30. 28 divided by 2 is going to equal 14. And then 30 divided by 2 is going to equal 15. So your final answer is 14 over 15. And remember, when you get to this step here, if you want, you are able to simplify first and then multiply. So 7 and 3 do not have any common factors, so I'm going to leave that alone. However, 10 and 4, we have common factors. The number 2 goes into both 10 and 4. 2 goes into 10 5 times, and 2 goes into 4 2 times. So you're going to get 7 over 5 times 2 over 3. This is going to give you 14 over 15. So if you want to avoid this step here, you can just simplify right before you multiply. 2 and 1/8 times 7 and 5/6. So let's try this example here. First thing I'm going to do, we're going to turn these fractions into improper fractions. 2 times 8 is going to be 16, plus 1 is going to be 17. So the improper fraction for here is going to be 17 over 8. Times, here we have 7 and 5/6. 7 times 6 is going to be 42, plus 5 is going to be 47. So my improper fraction is going to be 47 over 6. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and multiply across. We have 17 times 47 in my numerator over 8 times 6 in my denominator. 17 times 47 is going to be 799 over 8 times 6. This is going to give us 48. Now, we know this is a large number, so we do need to turn this into a mixed number. We have my 799 on the inside and 48 on the outside. 48 goes into 799 16 times. 48 times 16 is going to be 768. 799 minus 768 is going to equal 31. So your mixed number is going to be 16 and 31 over 48. And this is your final answer. So let's try this example here. First thing we're going to do, we have a mixed number and a whole number. So first we're going to turn this mixed number into an improper fraction. So we have 3 and 1/3. 3 times 3, this is going to give us a 9, plus 1 is going to be 10. So this is going to be 10 over 3. Then here we have our 2. Remember, to turn a whole number into a fraction, this is going to equal 2 over 1. Remember, you have your imaginary 1 right here under the 2. That equals 2 over 1. So we have 10 over 3 times 2 over 1. This is going to equal 10 times 2 over 3 times 1. 10 times 2 is 20 over 3 times 1 is 3. All right, and this is an example of an improper fraction. So let's go ahead and turn this back into a mixed number. 3 goes into 26 times. 3 times 6 is 18. 20 minus 18 is going to equal 2. So your answer, your mixed number, is going to be 6 and 2/3. Let's try 1 and 2/5 times 5. So we have a mixed number and a whole number. I'm going to go ahead and turn my mixed number to an improper fraction. 1 times 5, this is going to equal 5, plus 2 is going to be 7. So I'm going to write 7 over 5 times, we need to turn our 5 into a fraction, and that's going to equal 5 over 1. So we have our imaginary 1 right here under the 5. So this is going to be 5 over 1. So now I'm going to go ahead and multiply across. So we have 7 times 5. This is going to give us 35 over 5 times 1. This is going to give us 5. So 35 divided by 5 simplifies to 7. So your final answer is 7. Let's try 1 and 8/12 times 4 and 1/2. So let's try this example here. We're going to turn both of our mixed numbers into improper fractions, and then we're going to multiply. So 1 8/12 here, 1 times 12. This is going to equal 12, plus 8 is going to equal 20. So your improper fraction here is going to be 20 over 12 times, let's go ahead and look at the 4 and 1/2. We have 4 times 2. This is going to give us 8, plus 1 is going to equal 9. So we're going to get 9 over 2. Now let's go ahead and multiply across. So we have 20 times 9 over 12 times 2. 20 times 9 is going to equal 180 over 12 times 2 is going to equal 24. I can simplify my 180 over 24 because 12 goes into 180 and 12 goes into 24. 12 goes into 180 15 times, and then 12 goes into 24 2 times. So I am left with 15 over 2. Remember, this is an example of an improper fraction. So let's go ahead and turn this back into a mixed number. We have our 15 on the inside, and then 2 is on the outside. 2 goes into 15 7 times. 2 times 7 is 14. 15 minus 14 is going to equal 1. So your answer is going to be 7 and 1/2. All right, so let's try this example here. We have a whole number and a proper fraction. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to turn this whole number into a fraction. If I have 6, I need to turn into a fraction. This is going to be 6 over 1. Because remember, you have your imaginary 1 right here under the 6. We have 6 over 1 times 4 over 5. My numerator, we have 6 times 4. This is going to give us 24. And then my denominator, we have 1 times 5. This is going to give us 5. Since my answer here is 24 over 5, this is an example of an improper fraction. Let's go ahead and turn this into a mixed number. So my 5 is on the outside, 24 on the inside. 5 goes into 24 4 times. 5 times 4 is 20. 24 minus 20 is going to equal 4. So your mixed number is going to be 4 and 4/5. And this is your final answer. So we have 3 times 3 over 4. So we have a whole number in a proper fraction. First thing we're going to do, we're going to turn our whole number into a fraction. So if I turn my 3 into a fraction, it's going to be 3 over 1. So we have our imaginary 1 right here under the 3. So this is going to be 3 over 1 times 3 over 4. Now I'm going to go ahead and multiply across. So we have 3 times 3. This is going to equal 9 over 1 times 4. This is going to equal 4. This is an example of an improper fraction. We're going to go ahead and simplify into a mixed number. So we have our 9 on the inside, 4 on the outside. 4 goes into 9 2 times. 4 times 2 is 8. 9 minus 8 is 1. So your answer, your mixed number is going to be 2 and 1/4. And this is your answer. All right, so that is all for today, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.